Good evening, and welcome to our 2024 election coverage. Today, we have the primaries, and we have our first poll closing out of Iowa. We got a projection to make. We can project that Pete Buttigieg will win the Iowa primary and win a majority of his 41 delegates. This is the extended list: 12 for Pete, 11 for Kamala Harris, 11 for Jon Ossoff, 6 for Elizabeth Warren, and 1 for Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And on the Republican side, Donald Trump will win a majority of its 40 delegates. This is the extended list: 26 for Donald Trump, 4 for Josh Hawley, 3 for Mike Pence and Ted Cruz, 3 for Marco Rubio, and 1 for Mitt Romney. This is the current Democratic map. Pete Buttigieg is in first place. Kamala Harris and Jon Ossoff tied for second place. Warren in fourth place, and AOC in fifth place. This is the Republican map. Trump has a pretty big lead right now with 26. Hawley with 4, Cruz with 3, Pence with 3, and Rubio with 3, and then Mitt Romney with 1. And out of Salt Lake City, Utah, we got major news. Utah Senator Mitt Romney has dropped out of the Republican primary after a poor performance in the Iowa caucus, which is a major news. This is our February 11th poll closing out of New Hampshire. Got a projection to make Elizabeth Warren will win a majority of New Hampshire's 24 delegates and will win the primary. This is the extended list: 7 for Warren, 6 for Jon Ossoff, 6 for Pete Buttigieg, and 4 for Kamala Harris, with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez with 1 delegate. And on the Republican side, New Hampshire, Donald Trump will win that primary with 8. Mike Pence and Marco Rubio tie with 4, Josh Hawley with 3, and Ted Cruz with 3. This is the map for the Democrat side. Buttigieg is still in the lead with Ossoff in second place with 17, Harris in third, Warren in fourth, and AOC in last place. This is the Republican side. Trump with 34, Hawley with 7, Cruz with 6, Pence with 7, Rubio with 7, and Romney with 1. And this is our poll closing out of Nevada. And out of Nevada, Jon Ossoff will win a majority of Nevada's delegates. This is the extended list: 11 for Ossoff, 9 for Kamala Harris, 9 for Warren, and 6 for Pete. And also 1 for AOC. And on the Republican side, Marco Rubio will win. He will barely beat out Donald Trump with 7. Donald Trump has 6. Hawley with 5, Cruz with 4, and then Pence with 3 delegates. And this is the map. Ossoff now has the lead, 28-24, with Buttigieg tied with second with Kamala Harris, and then Elizabeth Warren in fourth place and AOC in fifth place. This is the Republican map. Sorry for the glitch right there. It shows 2 maps. Well, that's actually the Democrat map in the background. I don't know why though. But this is the map. Trump has 40 delegates. Hawley has 12, Cruz with 10, Pence with 10, Rubio with 14, and Romney with 1. Out of New York City, New York, we got some news. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has left the 2024 Democratic primary after failing to gain traction. This is our poll closing out of South Carolina. We can project that Jon Ossoff will win South Carolina's primary. So the extended list, you will get 20 delegates. Elizabeth Warren will get 16. Kamala Harris will get 14. Pete Buttigieg in last place with 4. And in South Carolina, on the Republican side, Donald Trump will win the primary. He will get 20. Hawley with 12, Rubio with 10, Cruz with 6, and Pence with 2. And this is the Democratic primary map. Jon Ossoff is now in first place with 48. Warren and Harris tied for second place with 38, and Pete Buttigieg 10 behind with 28 delegates. This is the Republican map. Donald Trump has a pretty big lead right now with 60 delegates. Hawley has 24, Cruz has 16, Pence has 12, Rubio has 24, and Romney has 1. Now out of Indianapolis, Indiana, we got a big projection. Former Vice President Mike Pence has dropped out of the Republican primary and endorsed former President Trump for president. This is major news, as he did say that he has failed to gain traction in the Trump base. And this is our Super Tuesday poll closings out of California, Colorado, Alabama, Arkansas, Utah, Minnesota, Oklahoma, Texas, Tennessee, North Carolina, and more. In Alabama, we can project that John Ossoff will win a majority of Alabama's 52 delegates. And Donald Trump will win the same primary on the Republican side. In American Samoa, Kamala Harris will win a majority of its 6. In Arkansas, John Ossoff will win a majority of his 31 delegates. In Arkansas, Donald Trump will win the same primary on the Republican side. In California, 415 delegates will go to Kamala Harris in her home state. And Donald Trump will win the primary on the Republican side. In Colorado, Elizabeth Warren will win the Democratic primary. And Marco Rubio will win the same primary on the Republican side. In Maine, Elizabeth Warren will win its 24 delegates, a majority of it. And in Maine, for the Republican side, Josh Hawley will win a majority. In Massachusetts, 91 delegates, a majority of them will go to Elizabeth Warren in her home state. And Marco Rubio will win the same primary on the Republican side. In Minnesota, Pete Buttigieg will win the primary. And Donald Trump will win the same primary on the Republican side. In North Carolina, 110 delegates will go to Elizabeth Warren. And in North Carolina, on the Republican side, Donald Trump will win. In Oklahoma, 37 delegates will go to John Ossoff. And Trump will win the same primary on the Republican side. In Tennessee, 64 delegates, a majority of them will go to John Ossoff. And Donald Trump will win the same primary on the other side. In Texas, John Ossoff will win a majority of its 228 delegates. And then in Texas, 155 on the Republican side, Ted Cruz will win a majority of them. Very barely close with Donald Trump. In Utah, on the Democratic side, Elizabeth Warren will win a majority of theirs. And Donald Trump will win it on the Republican side. In Vermont, Elizabeth Warren will win. And on the Republican side, Josh Hawley will win. And in Virginia, Elizabeth Warren will win a majority of its 99 delegates. And then on the Republican side, a majority of them will go to Ted Cruz. In Democrats abroad, John Ossoff will win a majority of its 13 delegates. And this is the primary map so far. John Ossoff has 625. Elizabeth Warren in second place with 392. Kamala Harris with 371 in a close third place. And Pete Buttigieg with 121, only winning 2 primaries. And Kamala Harris, besides only winning 2 primaries, she's in a close third place with Elizabeth Warren. This is the Republican map. Trump has a pretty big lead, 397 to Josh Hawley's 162, Ted Cruz 197, Pence with 12, Rubio with 202, and Romney with 1. And on St. Louis, Missouri, we got breaking news. Senator Josh Hawley has suspended his 2024 campaign after failing to gain traction and has endorsed Donald Trump. And he has risen as one of the frontrunners for Trump's VP if Trump wins the Republican nomination. Of Dallas, Texas today, Senator Ted Cruz has dropped out of the 2024 race in his second unsuccessful attempt for the White House. Out of Tallahassee, Florida today, Florida Senator Marco Rubio has decided to drop out of the 2024 race and has endorsed Donald Trump, which means we can project that Donald Trump will be the Republican nominee for 2024 after other candidates drops out. On South Bend, Indiana, former mayor of South Bend, Pete Buttigieg, has dropped out of the 2024 presidential field. On to Boston, Massachusetts today, Senator Elizabeth Warren has suspended her 2024 presidential campaign. On to Los Angeles, California today, Vice President Kamala Harris has exited the 2024 presidential field, which means we can project that Jon Ossoff will win the Democratic nomination. And we are set up for a 2024 election between Donald Trump and Jon Ossoff. Like and subscribe to never miss an episode of the 2022 midterms to the 2040 presidential election series. The next video will be the 2024 election. The next video will be who they pick as their VPs. And until next time.